So hello everybody, this is another video where we'll be looking at honest thoughts of a player, and this is the Bruno Fernandes edition. We'll be looking at what he's done this season, what his future is at Manchester United, his best position, strengths, weaknesses, and much more. Like we've done, we'll be rating the season as well. We've done a few videos, Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony. There's been some numerous, there'll be more coming out as well. I think this is a very good video to kind of interact with the fans and give a different perspective on each player. I think it's good once in a while to kind of sit down, relax, and have an honest thoughts on a player. It might not all be positive, it might not all be negative, but it's just good to have a fair assessment, give you where I stand on the thing, and yeah, continue to talk about Manchester United as always. So without further ado, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So, Bruno Fernandes now, as I said, his season has not been the greatest, been a bit 50-50. He's had some brilliant games this season. You look at the game against Galatasaray away, where he scored that wonderful goal and set up Garnacho. You look at some of his poor performances, Fulham, a heavily criticised one. But there's been, as I said, ups and downs. Now, Bruno Fernandes is a player who's, regardless of what you think, we've been nowhere near we want to be over the last, 4 years since Bruno coming in, particularly the last 10 years. I mean, you could say Bruno's kind of got us closer to that, but I certainly think Bruno is an integral part of the team. The fact that he's given the captaincy, people disagree with that. When he doesn't play, which is very rare, people disagree with that. When he does certain stuff on the pitch, people disagree with that. We know Bruno, every player is not going to please everyone. I think that's very obvious from the get-go. I think with Bruno, it's very important to focus on the positives, what he does, because there are very negatives, or a lot of negatives. But when he does do the positive, it looks absolutely world-class. Now, I think Bruno Fernandes is a player who many Manchester United fans want him to leave, and I'm against that. I think Bruno certainly is a player. Now, he's not been good this season, but I certainly do think there's a player in him. Yes, he's 29, he's probably edging his peak years, but maybe in 2-3 years we might need to replace him. But I think certainly what he's done in order to help the club, unless he's got nothing to show for that, no trophies or nothing, he's got a lot of player of the month and man of the matches. But ultimately, I think what he does offer to the team is necessary. I think his captaincy, his leadership, his ability on the ball as well. I think with Bruno, he's someone who, when it's not going well for him, it's going really bad, and when it's going good for him, it's going really good. I think he does probably look at the media too much, because when he's not informed, he tries to do that Hollywood pass that kind of makes the pressure off him, and that's a huge worry. With Bruno, you just want to see him play his football. I think just keep to the system. People were even unsure whether he would be at Manchester United when Eric Ten Hag came in with football that Ten Hag likes to play. So it is very fascinating with Bruno Fernandes. But for me, certainly he's a keep at Manchester United now. As I said, there was rumours a few months ago that Saudi are interested in him, maybe a potential look at Sporting Lisbon, which is his old club, but I certainly think he's a valuable member of Manchester United. I'm sure they'll be willing to keep him. I think Ineos can see what a huge player he is, someone who the fans love a lot, and for me, he's been absolutely fantastic this season. So for me, Bruno Fernandes has to be someone Manchester United are desperate to keep. The importance of him to our team is valuable, and he plays most games, he plays every game. I don't think he's missed he's one of our only players this season to not miss a game for injury, so that's a huge positive there. And I think Bruno Fernandes has been integral to games this season. He certainly won us games, but yeah, for me, I think he should be at Manchester now. Now let's look at his strengths. I think, I was going to say that's tough. No, but I think his strengths are, he's very good on the ball. You can say he does try the Hollywood pass or the amazing pass, but he's got a very good first touch. And that's something that you need. Players who don't have a first touch, it doesn't really tend to go well for them. I think he's got excellent vision as well. I think he understands the game brilliantly. He knows where to go. The positions are really good for him. And I do think that probably is his most biggest strength. Now, if you want to look at his weaknesses, which we'll probably delve in a bit deeper to, as I said, the Hollywood pass is a huge weakness. As I said, Bruno Fernandes wants to get that goal, wants to get that wow factor. And yes, every player wants that, but I think sometimes Bruno Fernandes tries too hard, and that kind of evidently comes out. I think when you try that ball quite a lot of time, it does come predictable, and then you've got to switch it. Variation is key in football. When it becomes too predictable, it makes it easy for the defender or the opposition to kind of suss out what you're going to do. That's with wingers, attackers, midfielders. When you know exactly what they're going to do, just makes that job really easy, and then the game just goes boring. So I do certainly think that's one of his weaknesses. Now, the second one for me is petulance. Now, we know certain players have certain ways of showing their passion to the pitch, and Bruno is probably a bit petulant. I think he does moan quite a lot at the referee and other players, And yeah, he has high standards for himself. But I think as a Manchester United captain, I think that's probably the biggest thing he's probably been scrutinised for. The fact that he's very, very petulant. He moans a lot. He's angry a lot when things are not going bad. And that negatively reflects him. And that's probably the biggest thing that we know he can get goals and assists. We know he can get the stats padding. But the petulance is the biggest thing. And the pettiness, that's what's making the Manchester United fans agitated and maybe having an issue with Bruno Fernandes. Now, as I said, I think he's a top quality player. But yeah, let me rate his season out of 10. For me, it's got to be an average 5.5, an average 6. I don't think he's been good enough at all. As I said, there's been moments of brilliance. You look at the game against Burnley where he scored that won the goal. As I said, game against Galatasaray, he's been in some important games in the season where he's played really, really well. But they've been few and far between. Kind of similar to Rashford, as I said. The two key players for Manchester United, someone who they rely on a lot. And when they're not doing well, it does negatively affect the team massively. But I do certainly think Rashford's a top quality class player. Bruno Fernandes as well, an even better player. And him and Rashford has been really good past 2 seasons. It's all about how they can get that form back. But yeah, this has been me rating Bruno Fernandes. Honest thoughts on him. Is he? I think he is. Unfortunately.